love to just have a little bit of a chat about email marketing, because obviously it's such a big topic, and especially in e-commerce, it's very often overlooked, the importance of it. And especially when I started working with you, it's just, it was for me mind blowing of like how incredibly important it is. So I thought it's good to have a little bit of a chat to hear about the ins and outs about email marketing, as well as like some industry standards and how to like get above the industry standards, as well as some tips and like just tricks.
Yeah, definitely. Happy to share my background and what we're doing and how people can improve email marketing, right?
Awesome. Do you want to like maybe introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm Mike. I've been in the e-com space since I think like 2013, 2014. Started out helping Amazon sellers in the US, and then ended up partnering with quite a few skincare brands in the States. I moved over there for a while and helped grow them. We ended up launching like 5 different skincare brands while we were there, so it was pretty crazy. Learned a lot, and after that created an Amazon agency, still helping Amazon sellers. And then the past 3 years, we've been really focusing and working hard on email marketing for e-commerce brands. And it kind of felt like a really good transition because, you know, we had a lot of experience with e-commerce, and we had the copywriters, and we knew how important email is for e-commerce brands. And so we just like slipped right in there and started getting results really quickly.
Awesome. Yeah, I can definitely, you obviously got already amazing results for one of my clients as well. So it was so good to be able to connect you with him. So that's really cool. So how do you what is the common mistake of like email marketing, or like how do people like usually mess it up? Or when, you know, like a lot of people are like, okay, I have a few emails, abandoned cart sequence, I have a welcome sequence, and that's it, I'm done. Or like, what are the ins and outs about it?
Yeah, so there's a lot of mistakes a lot of people make. Of course. I mean, like setting up the foundations is super important. Making sure, you know, you got your abandoned cart, like a welcome series, browse abandonment, all of those sort of basic flows. And it's okay if you set them up in, you know, with a pretty basic structure and everything. You're going to make some money off of that. Where people go wrong, I think, is when it comes more to the campaign level, where they're sending out broadcast emails. So a few things. There's a big misconception that people don't read emails, which is, you know, completely not true. Like, I was the same. There's so many emails I don't read, so I sort of projected that, and I thought nobody reads emails.
Same.
And I started learning about it. I was like, wow, a lot of people read emails, and a lot of money is made through email. So that's a big one. I think another big one is that people are not sending out enough emails. So a lot of brand owners are kind of scared, like, if I'm sending too many emails to my list, they're going to be annoyed, they're going to unsubscribe, things like that.
So what is the sweet spot?
Yeah, so a few things about that. Like, every list is different, okay? So you have to keep that in mind. But typically, you want to be sending at least 3 emails minimum a week.
Okay.
And if you look at some of the big brands, they're sending 5 to 7 emails a week. And there's 2 reasons for this. Like,
isn't it always like spamming?
Yeah, so you think it's going to be super spammy, but there's 2 reasons for this. One is, if you're like me, I miss only 58% of the emails in my inbox, like my personal inbox. And so you have to think about that every email you send, that person's not going to read all of them because it's going to get lost in that big mess of an inbox. Secondly, you also have to remember that the people that you're sending to, they're probably signed up to 15 other e-commerce lists. So you're fighting for that real estate also, because they're getting all these other messages from all these other brands. So if you're sending 1 a week, that's just getting pushed all the way down the inbox. They're not going to see it, and you're not giving them a chance to be able to open and see your email. And the reason why they've signed up to your email list is because they want to hear from you, right? And the other thing is just, you shouldn't be scared that people are going to unsubscribe. Like, people are going to unsubscribe. That's the reality of it. And when people do unsubscribe from your list, it's okay, because you don't want them on your list anyway, right? Why would you want somebody on your list who doesn't want to receive emails? So unsubscribing is a good thing, right?
Really?
As you were saying, like, spam becomes sort of like a problem, and people getting the feeling that they're being spammed. So that brings me to another sort of big mistake people are doing with email is just sending out promotions, just sending out discount codes, sale all the time, right?
Okay.
You need to come up with a little bit better of a content strategy than that, where you're bringing value, you're making your emails fun and interesting, and not everything is a sale. Because when you keep doing that, you're training your customers to learn that they can always get a discount from you. And secondly, they'll stop opening your emails because they know if there's going to be another promo, right?
So you like having constant discount is just gonna like basically decrease the value of the brand itself, or?
So it can decrease the value of the brand, but it's just like training your customers that you're always going to give them a discount, which you don't want to train them to feel like that, right? And there's like really cool and fun ways to get around it. Also, if you are sending out discount codes, like one thing we just did this month, one of the brands we work with is like a high-end meditation brand. Like, their product's like $120 average order value. And this month there was a national holiday called National Meditation Day. So it made a lot of sense for us to probably send out an email for National Meditation Day. But on the same day, it was National Speak Like Yoda Day, like Yoda from Star Wars. So we thought, let's not send out a National Meditation Day email, and let's send out a Speak Like Yoda Day email. And so what we did is we sent out an email to them, and basically we said, if you do want 15% off, you have to reply to this email and talk back to us like Yoda. And then we had like this influx of people like being like, meditation I must do, and things like that. I like to get that discount code. So
I love that.
Just like creative and fun, and not just be like, 10%, here's the code, click on this button, right? So it's just like creativity.
Yeah. What kind of value do you get out of it when people are actually engaging from like your emails? Is there any advantage?
Yeah. So like Gmail and all their email providers, they can see obviously who's opening your emails and who's clicking your emails. So they measure those metrics, and you want to keep those metrics pretty high to keep up your email deliverability. But a massive one that a lot of e-commerce stores miss out on, which you'll find is done a lot in direct response and BizOp, is you ask them to reply to the email like we did. Because when people reply to your email, that sort of notifies Gmail or Outlook, like, oh, this person really likes this email sender enough that they're replying. And so it helps with your deliverability. So it helps you avoid spam. It helps more of your emails get delivered to the primary inbox and not the promotions. So it's also very, very important for deliverability also.
Okay, awesome. So when people are looking at their email stats and everything, what is like a good stat? Because a lot of people, as well as like with Facebook ads, they're like, well, I'm not sure if I'm doing good or not because I have no idea what is good. So what are the metrics for email marketing?
Yeah, so the biggest one is definitely open rate. That's like the biggest measurement that email providers have for deliverability. So pretty much the standard is you want to hit at least 20%. 20% and above open rate is considered good. Average is like 15%. And then once you're doing, if your open rates are getting 10% and under, that's like critical. So what would happen is if you're getting like 10% or 15% and you keep sending emails and they keep hitting those open rates, your deliverability is going to go down. Less people are going to receive your emails when you blast them out. More emails are going to start going to spam. So that's the big one. That's the big metric. Get it 20% and above. And you do this simply by making sure you're sending to like the more engaged segment of your email list, right?
So it's not just gonna be everyone all the time?
Yeah, no, that's a huge mistake. People are just like blasting everyone. Like we recently took over a client and every email I was sending was like everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like super dangerous to do that. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to test out like a 30-day engaged segment, a 60-day engaged, and a 90-day. Start with 30-day and see what the open rates are. If they're like super high, like 40% or 30%, then extend it to 60-day engaged until you're hitting around like 25% is good. And then you've got things like click-through rate, spam rate, and unsubscribe rate. Click-through rate, these are the ones that I always forget, but I'm pretty sure click-through rate, like you want it 1% and above. But it's not a super important metric because it also really depends on the goal of your email. If you want people to click through or if you just want people to read the email, right?
That was just about to ask, like, is the click-through of like based on like a promotion that you have in the email, or what is the click-through going to?
Exactly. So it could be anybody could, anybody could create a good click-through rate. Which like sometimes see people posting, look, my click-through rate is huge, but you could send a super simple email and it could just say, click below for a big surprise, and the button says, click me, big surprise. And you're going to get a huge click-through rate because people are like, what the hell is this? Like, you're piquing curiosity, right? You're going to have, a 50% off, which is going to have a huge click-through rate. So it's, it really depends on what the goal is for the email. But typically you want to be hitting like a 1% click-through rate.
Okay.
And
it's like, what is then something like unsubscribe rate, or like how should people like say if it's like a normal rate of like people unsubscribing? Is there also like a metrics for that?
Yeah. So unsubscribe, I believe it is 1%. And I think 1% is like might be critical, but you want to stay under 1%, right? If you go over 1%, it usually flags your email service provider, like Klaviyo or Drip or something, and sometimes they'll contact you and be like, what's going on? So unless you're like totally screwing something up, you shouldn't have like a really bad unsubscribe rate pretty much.
Okay, that's good. And like, what kind of tools would you recommend? Because obviously we've been working with some like projects together, and we were talking about Infusionsoft and Drip and Klaviyo. So what is your like go-to tool that you're having?
So I think go-to and like easiest user experience and usability for people starting out, 100% go with Klaviyo. Especially if you're doing e-com, it's specialized for e-com, it's integrated with Shopify really easily. So Klaviyo, number one, but Drip is really good. And then, we also play around with ActiveCampaign a bit, if you're doing like other things like info products and stuff, but e-com, just stick with Klaviyo. And it's got a lot of stuff in there, like your pop-up forms and everything, but you can get more complex with pop-up forms if you want to like Privy or Form Toro. There's all these other ones, but I think if you're starting out and you want to keep it basic, just stick with Klaviyo. Okay,
cool. You mentioned pop-up forms because like I had also a meeting with someone in the US yesterday who was like raving about the importance of pop-ups to like get the right content in front of the people, to make sure like you segment them in the right way. What is your like opinion with that? Do you usually use that, or?
So pop-up forms, super important, especially now with like CPMs of ads going up and cost of customer acquisitions going up. Is more and more important to be able to give your customers a more personalized journey once they subscribe. And so they're obviously subscribing through a pop-up form. And typically, like traditionally, people just have a pop-up form and it's like, hey, price bonus here or get 10% off, just give us your email, which is cool because you're going to get an email address, which we want. So you can start selling them on the back end and get a higher lifetime value. But it's low barrier to entry, right? Just put in your email and it's pretty good incentive. But the problem is that, yeah, you're not collecting data about your customer, and that's becoming more and more important, that you collect data about your customer, what they need, what they like, so that you can then give them a far more personalized journey through email, because that's going to really help increase the customer lifetime value of each person that comes in. So I've seen and they're coming out with Form Toro, I think it is. They now do a 2-step, which is really good. Because the one thing you don't want to do is have a pop-up and there's too many questions and people get put off, right?
Yeah.
They're too much work. People are lazy. They like things to be easy and they're always in a rush. So just having it all on that one form puts them off. So now people are using a 2-step form where they put in their email and then they go submit or next, and then it swaps over and then it's going to ask them questions about, do you have dry skin or oily skin? Do you have acne? Or do you have a cat or a dog? And do they like wet food or dry food? And because you're collecting that info, you can then give them far more personalized experience through email, what content you're going to put out to them, what products you're going to put in front of them. So that's super, super important. And it can also help you collect data about the customer. So you can also give them personalized gifts if they've been a loyal customer and spent over $500, or if it's the 1-year anniversary, right? A bit more about the customer, so that instead of just saying thank you, here's $10, you can say thank you, here's a free one of your most favorite products that you love.
Yeah.
Right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you use that usually, the pop-up functionality with you mentioned Klaviyo before, or do you use it with separate plugin in Shopify?
Yeah, so you would have to. So there's the Klaviyo one, which is great, but it's obviously limited. You can A/B split test, but it's very limited in the amount of data that it can collect. So that's why you have to go by through Shopify, get a Privy app or Form Toro or Octane AI. All these other forms that are far more flexible and can capture far more data.
Mm-hmm. And that connects them directly with the email tool that you're using? Yeah,
so you'll collect that data and then it'll put it into Klaviyo and it'll update custom properties of the customer, their likes, dislikes, their problems and issues, anything you want to collect, really, anything you want to know about your customer that you can see will improve their customer experience. That's what you'll do. You just collect all that.
Awesome, perfect. What are some tips and tricks to get started? Because obviously I know that you and your team, you work with big companies, so not everyone has the budget to support obviously a big Facebook ad campaign to get people in the top of the funnel to the website, as well as then have the budget for email marketing. So when people need to do it, start up and do this themselves, how would you recommend get started?
Yeah, so Klaviyo is super easy. Go with Klaviyo. They have really good support. They have great videos on how to get started. And the other thing, it's super easy to use. And I would just set up your basic flows, at least the automations, the set them and forget them. And the good thing about Klaviyo is that if you go to flows, they actually have templates. So you can just hit templates and it will auto load the templates for you. So you've got the triggers are set up, the filters are set up, the time delays are set up, and it also gives you a basic template already there with all the dynamic fields that you would need for email. So that's a really easy one to sort of get up and get going with. So yeah, I mean, it can be a little bit daunting, right? Trying to use a new tech, a new software, just show up, start using it, and I think it's you'll find it's a lot easier than you think.
Just like with everything else in life.
Just with everything else. But then there's the complex part, and that's where you have to go hire people.
Yeah, of course. So when people want to get in touch with you, because obviously a lot of people are in the bigger sphere, what is the requirement for people to be a good fit with you, to work with you and your team?
Yeah, so we're pretty flexible. I mean, like ongoing work, retainers and things, we typically like people to be doing like 50 or 100K above in revenue, just because we know if you're doing that, that's where you're going to get the return on investment, and that's going to offset, you know, anything that you would probably have to pay us, right? But in saying that,
per month or per year?
Hey?
Per month or per year?
Per month. 50 to 100K per month. But like people who are doing way below that, or who haven't even like started up their store, but they want to set email up in place, we actually have a package for that. So it's super low price. It's very affordable. It goes over 3 months, and it's on a nice payment plan. So people aren't, you know, having to fork out heaps of money, and it's a great like foundation for them to get set up, and it's all nice set it and forget it sort of stuff.
That's awesome.
It'll help them grow for sure.
Yeah, especially because at the beginning, you know, like you need to have all those tools, and you need to like be a specialist in everything, which is obviously no one is the best in everything. So it's really good that you have that package to help people that cannot maybe afford an ongoing service, but like help them to get everything right and set up at the very beginning. And especially like I've seen some of your strategies, which is just really incredible, to not just think about like one thing, but you think about the entire experience for the customer, which like especially like my clients, they love it, and I'm really happy to have connected with you like a while ago.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we're definitely going to be blowing some stuff up. We already are. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it's good for people, like as you're saying, like big thing is just saving time. Like you're starting a business, like an e-com business. Initially you may also think, oh, I just got to get this. I just got to get a product and do this and post on social media, and then we're off to the races. And then you start, and then you're like, oh, wait, there's 500 things to do. And so being able to just outsource a few things, just freeing up your time from having to educate on how to do it, then actually doing it, and then running into problems, and then trying to solve those problems. And just offloading that plate so you can focus on the bigger, better things is really good.
Especially because a lot of people think they know exactly what the clients want, and they know exactly the customer avatar, but like at the end, especially with your research, where there are so many inconsistencies with that. So it's really good when like I've seen of some of your reports when you and your team, you just dig deep of like what is actually happening on YouTube, what are people actually saying in the forums, and it's just like often doesn't match. So that's really good, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, having that like somebody outside looking in, right? That's always good. Like and a lot of either if the client's maybe just like not super educated on marketing, or what else can happen is that people just get really close to their product. You know,
exactly.
they had a product for so long, and they're like so close to it, and that they can't see from the outside looking in and be like, okay, this is what's wrong. So it's good to just have a pair of eyes.
Yeah, awesome. Perfect. So like, I guess when people just want to get in touch with you, they're just gonna hit you up on your Instagram page, or they're just gonna go to your website?
Yeah, go to my website. Just go to nolimitemail.com. I'm hardly on Instagram, so nolimitemail.com, or hit me up on mike@nolimitemail.com, and I'll get back to you.
Awesome. Perfect. So thank you so much, Mike, for taking the time, because I know you're like super busy, but I really appreciate it.
Awesome. No worries at all. This was really awesome. My first Instagram live, so thanks for that.
Yes, you did it. Perfect. Talk soon and have a good day.
All right. See you later. Bye.